这个故事如果你听起来不累，那么你的听力水平在生活中是完全够用的。要持续提升英文，记得点击订阅按钮。我们开始吧。
You make a plan you trust. You see it clear in your mind. And then one small change hits. And suddenly everything is up in the air. The phrase did not come from a quiet place. It rose from noise, risk, in a time when humans first pushed their bodies into the sky. In the early 1900s, flight was not normal. It was not safe. It was a bold act that many people did not fully believe in. Planes were made of wood and cloth. Engines were weak and often failed. Pilots sat in the open air, with no roof, no strong seat, and no second chance. When a plane left the ground back then, it was not just travel. It was a gamble. The moment the wheels lifted, control began to slip away. Wind could change without warning. The engine could stop. The pilot could lose his path. People on the ground would watch with tight hearts, because once that plane was up, its fate was not fully in human hands anymore. That is where the feeling started. When something was up in the air, it was not fixed. It was moving, unsure, and out of reach. Just like those early planes, it could go many ways, and no one could say how it would end. The sky was not a place of answers. It was a place of waiting. As years passed, flying slowly became safer. Planes improved. Pilots learned. New tools gave more control. But the feeling of the sky did not fully change. It still held that sense of risk, that space where things could shift at any second. And the phrase stayed alive, growing beyond the world of flight. Soon, people began to use it in daily life. A worker waiting for a job offer would say things were up in the air. A family unsure about moving to a new city would use the same words. A couple not sure about their future would feel it too. The phrase became a bridge between the sky and human life, linking motion with emotion. There's also an older root that shaped this idea. Long before planes, people already saw the air as a place of change. Leaves move with the wind. Clouds never stay still. Storms rise fast and leave just as fast. Air does not hold things in place. It carries them, shifts them, and sometimes breaks them apart. So when something is in the air, it feels loose, not grounded, not settled. Now think about how that connects. Early flight gave the phrase its strong image. The older view of air gave it its deeper meaning. Together, they formed a simple but powerful idea. When something is up in the air, it is in motion, not decided, and not fully in your control. Picture a small airfield in 1912. The ground is rough. A crowd stands behind a rope line. A young pilot checks his plane again and again. His hands shake, but he hides it. He climbs in, starts the engine, and the noise cuts through the air. The plane moves faster and faster until it lifts. For a moment, there is silence from the crowd. The plane looks small against the sky. It tilts, then steadies, then shakes again. No one knows what will happen next. Not the crowd. Not even the pilot. In that moment, everything about that flight is up in the air. Time passes. The plane turns, drops a little, then climbs again. The pilot fights the wind. He makes small choices, one after another. Each choice matters. Each second could change the end of the story. The crowd watches, some in fear, some in hope. Then, slowly, the plane comes down. The wheels touch the ground. The crowd cheers. The story is no longer up in the air. It has an ending. But here is the part people often miss. The most alive part of that story was not the landing. It was the time in the sky. The time when nothing was sure. The time when every path was still open. Now bring this into your own life. You send a message and wait for a reply that does not come. You go for a chance, but the answer is delayed. You build a plan, and then something shifts. A door closes, or maybe it does not open yet. You are left in that space, not here, not there. That feeling in your chest, that mix of hope and fear. That is your life being up in the air. It can feel heavy. It can feel like you have no ground under your feet. You may want a fast answer, a clear path, something solid to hold. But life does not always move that way. Some of the most important moments happen when nothing is fixed. There is tension in that space, but there is also power. When nothing is decided, everything is still possible. When the path is not clear, you are free to shape it. When the answer is not here yet, you are still in the middle of becoming. Think again about that early pilot. If he stayed on the ground, he would be safe, but he would never fly. The moment he chose to rise, he accepted the unknown. He accepted that for a time, his fate would be up in the air. You face that same choice in quieter ways. You may not step into a plane, but you step into risk every time you try something new. Every dream, every change, every move forward puts you in that space where nothing is fully certain. And here comes the real turn. Being up in the air is not a problem to fix right away. It is a stage to move through. It is where growth happens. It is where old paths end and new ones begin to form. If you rush to escape it, you may miss what it can give you. If you stay too long in fear, you may freeze. But if you learn to move while things are unclear, you gain a kind of strength that no clear path can teach. So when your life feels like it is floating, do not just ask how to land. Ask what you can learn while you are still in the air. Look at your choices. Feel the direction of your own wind. Make small moves. Adjust. Keep going. Because one day, you will land. The story will settle. You will look back and see that the most important part was not when things became clear, but when they were not. Right now, something in your life is not decided. A plan, a dream, a step you are unsure about. It is easy to call that a problem. But what if it is not? What if it is your moment in the sky? So think about it. Are you waiting for everything to become clear before you move? Or are you already flying? Even if you cannot see the end?
能以非母语者的身份专注学习到现在，这本身就是很棒的进步。真诚感谢你的观看。如果你觉得本期内容实用，点赞或留言让我知道你的想法，这对我持续创作非常重要。我们下期见。